This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, ABRP Planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how fast the new Tesla Model Y or Model 3 battery, the LG5M battery, is charging. You guys have heard about this, right? It's a wonderful new battery, 82 kilowatt hour. Now the net capacity is 79 kilowatt hour. I measured around 77. I think on a good day I could probably get 78 kilowatt hour. When I use a Sexy button or the Enhance products, right, and I look in the app, I could see that it reported 78.5 kilowatt hour. And usually when you drive it, you get roughly 1 kilowatt hour less than that. Because what BMS report is not always what you can get in real life, because you drive and you go uphill, you accelerate, right? So I've seen this many times before. That wasn't with ScanMyTesla, but they report from the same data anyway, that you usually get 1 kilowatt hour less. Same with other cars also, like MEB platform, the so-called 77 kilowatt hour, I was getting around 75 from it, right? But okay, anyway, back to the charging here. So I need to just tell you guys a little bit before I start the whole thing here, but you can preheat manually. That's what I did with Enhance or the Sexy button. When you have the command installed, you can preheat it manually, and that's what I did. And then it preheats to 50 degrees Celsius, which is quite high. Many other legacy automakers, they usually preheat to around 25 degrees Celsius, but they probably have more cobalt than the battery, so they can, they can get maximum speed at lower temperature. That's the wonder of the cobalt. Cobalt is like the steroids for batteries, right? You don't want to have too much of that, right? But so I just preheat it like I always do, and then it seems like it overheated. And when they did 1,000 kilometer challenge, you guys probably watch it, right? There were indications that it overheated. So then I tried to go lower. Instead of preheating to 50 degrees, I tried around 40 degrees, or maybe 42. Yeah, that is the answer. I'm not sure. It depends actually on many factors, how deep you go also. If you go below 10%, you might require lower temperature, because by the time you heat up or charge up the car to 10% and beyond, then the battery has heated up to maybe 50 degrees or 45 degrees, right? So it's actually many different factors. It seems like if you just navigate to a supercharger like I did during 1,000 kilometer challenge, I don't know if it was a coincidence, it did not preheat. That's what happened at Varberg. In the beginning, on the first half of the challenge, I manually preheated because I just want to have control over this, right? I seen before that Tesla tends to preheat a bit slow, maybe because it thinks that I'm driving at the speed limit, and then it preheats too slow because then I arrive too fast, I come too fast, right? Yeah. So that's what I did in the beginning, but then it could seem like maybe it was overheating. I'm not sure. The battery temperature hit around 58 degrees Celsius and it was throttling, but was it just thermal throttling? Or was it just because the Tesla batteries, they suck? The LG batteries, they suck. Yeah. A little side note, by the way, Vanya from EV Clinic, he is a freaking genius, man. He's a guru. Runs this repair shop in Croatia. They've been repairing lots of Teslas, but also lots of other cars like e-Niro, Kona, with the motors that keep breaking down. And he messaged me a couple of months ago, so out of nowhere, right? He was like, yeah, he's been repairing. They can repair the structural batteries in Tesla. You know, the pink foam. They figure out a way to extract one cell. They figure out first by reading the BMS which cell is wrong. Then they pinpoint the right cell. They extract it, put in a new cell, boom, fixed. People say, oh, you can't fix that. The guys in Croatia, they can fix it. There are many geniuses in Croatia. Nikola Tesla came from there. Mate from Rimac is from Croatia. But okay, anyway, a little side note there. So he told me that the LG batteries sucks, man. Shit. I'm like, okay, well, he knows a thing or two about batteries. And he said the Panasonic batteries, they're way better. I'm like, well, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, but okay, so back to the whole LG then. So at least in the second half, during 1,000 kilometer challenge on the way back, I tried to not preheat, and then the car actually didn't preheat at all. I was like, okay, what's going to happen now with 32, 33 degrees Celsius in the battery? It cold gated. But it seems like maybe the car has a way to flatten out the curve. It's like, I also seen this in many other cars, not only in Tesla, that there seems to be some kind of quota if you charge fast in the beginning, you will be throttle. Or if you cold gate for some reason in the beginning, then you actually get slightly better speed towards the end, so that by the end of the day, it takes roughly the same time to get to 80% or there, right? Okay, so a lot of explanation behind this, but first I did one charging session, went a little bit deep, I preheated, went kind of hot, and then I tried again after the 1,000 kilometer challenge and did another charging session where it was a bit colder. But then I ran out of time because I had to return the car. And sorry, Tesla, Marit Lade at Rud, I returned the car kind of late, a couple of hours late, but I just wanted to find out as much as possible. I only had it for 48 hours. Okay, let's roll the tape now. So see, this is the hot session. We started first. From 6%, and there, boom, now comes the rest. But you see that now the hot session is already at 53 degrees Celsius. The cold session started at 10%, and then it's colder, only around 42, 45 now. And then we also include the old session there, the smaller battery, the 5L battery, and then also include the MEB. It is more generic, you know, MEB, for example, ID7 or Explorer, just as a reference how fast they are charging. But you can see here that, okay, I kind of missed the action, but it goes faster. The cold session goes faster than the hot session. Yeah, so apparently the cold session is going to go faster, right? Well, we'll see now what happens. So then suddenly it's kind of like this. Okay, the cold session is slightly ahead of the hot session, but actually the oil is quicker in a way, but it's also, well, around 3 kilowatt hour less. But look at what's happened now. The hot session is suddenly charging faster than the cold session. This could be that quota I was talking about, that the cold session was going fast in the beginning, but then it kind of used up all its oomph and it's getting exhausted. And then, you know, it can't go that fast. And then suddenly the hot session goes faster because the hot session was throttled maybe by thermal earlier, but now it can go faster. So actually, to my surprise, now big surprise, you can see that the cold and the hot session, they are exactly the same, 49-50%, neck on neck really. And then the hot session, or I mean the all session, the 5L battery is a little bit faster, maybe because it just has less kilowatt hour to fill in. So in that regard, yes, you would expect that the newer battery would charge faster, right? Or have the same percent at the same time. But it could seem like the amount of energy you get in here in the new battery and versus the old is more or less the same. I haven't done the deep analysis there, but maybe you guys can do it. I don't go that deep always. I already have 2 kids. But okay, but as a comparison, you see MEB, that's actually quite updated. One of the newest charging sessions on the MEB platform is wonderful, man. It wasn't going that fast before. It was actually going kind of slow-ish before, but the MEB platform is going faster and faster. You can see how fast it is now compared to Tesla. MEB platform is about to hit 80% and Tesla hasn't even hit 70%. It's quite embarrassing. But yeah, which approach should you have now, hot or cold? Well, you see, at this point, the hot and cold, they're roughly the same temperature because Tesla is relatively good at controlling the temperature. And also you see that the inlet is not the same. So the inlet on the hot session is a bit lower. Okay, it goes a bit up and down, which means that when that indicates that Tesla is not using full power to cool down the battery. You know, it has the potential to cool down really fast, but it's not using it. It's just, I don't know what it's doing. Who knows what the heck is going on with the LG battery, but seems like the LG batteries, whatever chemistry or form factor or whatever is probably the limit here. You can't squeeze out more, right? And yeah, and now I just want to show you that the MEB is about to hit 90%, right around there. I don't have any time counter here, unfortunately, sorry. But you see, they hit 90% and the Tesla hasn't even hit 80%. Actually, the all session hit 80%. So yeah, I should maybe count the kilowatt hour. You can see the kilowatt hour in one of the other variables, and you can count. Maybe someone else can do that for me. I'm just kidding. I'm tired, Bowers. Yeah, but I wonder if this the bigger battery, normally if the battery is let's say 5% bigger, that should translate to 5% faster charging. Okay, and then the hot session in the middle there, I kind of screwed up. I was at Rema 1000 and I went grocery shopping and I left the car, and then when you leave the car with the sexy thing attached, it cuts the power for the 12 volt and then you don't get anything, which is kind of weird because when you use ScanMyTesla, it will run it. Maybe the enhanced guys know what's going on here. But okay, anyway, no big deal. I'm just showing you. Eventually, it will come back at the end. But now we're kind of watching paint dry because MEB platform is about to hit 100%. Tesla hasn't even hit 90%. But MEB platform actually, the MEB, then the 84 kilowatt hour charger is very fast. It can match even or beat even many 800 volt batteries. But yeah, I think we're about to finish this. But just show you that it goes kind of slow towards the end, more or less the same as the old one. So the red line here is Juniper, the new, you see the hot session actually goes a bit faster in the beginning. Then this is most likely because of thermal throttling. It's just, you know. And then the cold session, on the other hand, seems to have a more even curve. But then there is also a weird dip here. What the heck happened there? Ich weiß nicht. Yeah. And then, but you can see that the old curve is lower. Yeah. So it's lower than both of these. But then the old curve, well, we're talking about kilowatt here, yeah, not C rate. So it's slightly confusing, yeah. But it seems like, okay, the new, the 5M battery gets a little jolt in the beginning, but then it just kind of falls on the same level, more or less, as the old. And actually the old is slightly faster here, but then dips below there and then so on. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure how to conclude this, but it seems like there's really no upgrade here. I don't know what you guys think. And then here we see the Explorer, or it just happened to be Explorer, but it also applies to many other. Like I mentioned, it's just a generic MEB, and it's flatter. Okay, it doesn't have that high peak. They could probably squeeze out more, maybe. Go higher here, 250, but then maybe if they do that, they might have to lower the overall curve, yeah, something like that. But okay, overall though, it seems like Tesla batteries, they even today, 2025, almost 2026, they don't perform nearly as good as the competitors. However, I should mention this since, you know, I have insight in this. When I test Tesla in 1,000 kilometer challenge, they actually perform really well. And that is because Tesla, unlike most other car manufacturers, they managed to perfect the efficiency. And the efficiency trumps everything. Yes, trump! No, but it trumps everything because, how do I put this? I have a good example. I'm sitting now in the Brabus, right? And this is Seeker #5. Smart, mix them. Seeker basically the same. They have the same battery. But the Smart #5 Brabus, it charges at, well, according to EV database, 400 kilowatt only. It's still the same. It's supposed to be 480. Okay, whatever. But I actually never achieved 480. I achieved around 410-ish on the Seeker 7X, even though it's claimed to be 480. But whatever. This car can charge at 400 kilowatt, right, at peak, and then it's pretty fast. Yeah. Tesla can only charge at 250, and it's not even 250 because what you see on the charging screen in the car is what it's pulled from the charger. But then there is some massive cooling going on and some losses, and usually there's around 10, even 15, I think even up to 20 kilowatt less that goes into the battery. So you have to see the battery power thing in Canvas, for example, in ScanMyTesla, or the Enhance app. I believe that big round number there, that was what goes into the battery, not the other total power. Yeah. But my point is that if the Tesla Model Y, or especially Model 3, is charging at 250 kilowatt, because this Brabus here, or this Smart is so thirsty, it consumes roughly 50% more energy than the Model Y. Then it's like the Model Y is charging at 400 kilowatt. You know what I mean? So this is something that nowadays, all the Chinese cars, they charge so fast, but they tend to also be so thirsty. You know, IM6 anyone. And people just tend to forget to also look at efficiency, because by the end of the day, it's the kilometers per hour that matters, not how many kilowatt you're getting, you know. But on the other hand, if Tesla would just get some proper batteries. Okay, sorry this video is a bit long, but I think you guys are also interested in this topic. I mean, I do agree that Tesla charges slow. Like the glorious time of Panasonic batteries, MC Hammer kicks ass for the Lord. At 50%, it can still maintain 140 kilowatt roughly, and it has a flat. If I if I included the MC Hammer on the Tesla Model 3 from 2019 with the Panasonic battery in this comparison here, it would probably just beat the heck out of all the other ones. It would just, like, 2019 tech would beat the MEB platform, right, in 2025. You know, it's just not insanely good charging speed. But Tesla, for some reason, they gave up the Panasonic batteries and they went for the LG. But they also have some CATL batteries, the LFP batteries. So why don't they use the Shenzhen battery then from CATL? It kicks ass for the Lord. If you get 5C, 12C charging, you know, 500, 600 kilowatts with Tesla's efficiency, it's going to be game over. People talk about, yeah, the iX3 is going to kick ass and it's going to be the fastest 1,000 kilometer challenge. Equip Tesla with the CATL Shenzhen battery, and it's going to be unbeatable. Or actually even Model S, yeah, but Model 3 is more affordable, right? So then it's just game over, yeah. Okay, anyway, I think that's going to be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.